Dungeons & Dragons, abbreviated as D&D, is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game, RPG, originally designed by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. It was first published in 1974 by Tactical Studies Rules Incorporated, TSR. The game has been published by Wizards of the Coast, now a subsidiary of Hasbro, since 1997. It was derived from miniature war games, with a variation of chainmail serving as the initial rule system. D&D's publication is commonly recognized as the beginning of modern role-playing games and the role-playing game industry. D&D departs from traditional wargaming and assigns each player a specific character to play instead of a military formation. These characters embark upon imaginary adventures with a fantasy setting. A dungeon master serves as the game's referee and storyteller while maintaining the setting in which the adventures occur, and playing the role of the inhabitants. The characters form a party that interacts with the setting's inhabitants and each other. Together, they solve dilemmas, engage in battles, and gather treasure and knowledge. In the process, the characters earn experience points in order to rise in levels and become increasingly powerful over a series of sessions. The early success of Dungeons & Dragons led to a proliferation of similar game types. Despite the competition, D&D has remained as the market leader in the role-playing game industry. In 1977, the game was split into two branches: the relatively rules-light game system of basic Dungeons & Dragons, and the more structured, rules-heavy game system of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, abbreviated as AD&D. AD&D's second edition was published in 1989. In 2000, a new system was released as Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition. These rules formed the basis of the D20 system, which is available under the Open Game License, OGL, for use by other publishers. Dungeons & Dragons version 3.5 was released in June 2003, with a non-OGL 4th edition in June 2008. A 5th edition was released during the second half of 2014. As of 2004, Dungeons & Dragons remain the best-known and best-selling role-playing game, with an estimated 20 million people having played the game and more than $1 billion in book and equipment sales. The game has been supplemented by many pre-made adventures, as well as commercial campaign settings suitable for use by regular gaming groups. Dungeons & Dragons is known beyond the game for other D&D branded products, references in popular culture, and some of the controversies that have surrounded it. Particularly, a moral panic in the 1980s, falsely linking it to Satanism and suicide. The game has won multiple awards and has been translated into many languages beyond the original English. So here are some questions. Who designed the game Dungeons & Dragons? What year was it first published? What type of game is it? What is the objective of the game? What purpose does the Dungeon Master serve? What is the difference between basic and advanced D&D? What is the latest edition of the game? What is one controversy that surrounded the game?